Network Entertainment.
Okay, game.
Okay na tayo sa campus.
Audio is good,
Everything's
video is good.
recorded.
Okay. So actually, Senator Bam, the first question, we'll get straight to it.
Yes.
The big one. The
Big
big one
one.
talaga.
Okay.
People are
Okay.
very
There's,
torn.
Like this is something that's, conflicting ideologies, diba? So-
It's
here it is.
sorry to ask.
Yeah. So are you a cold plunger or do you like the sauna?
Cold plunger or sauna? Pwede bang neither?
You're not into
Wala.
any.
Shower boy
No.
lang ako. Pang shower
Hot
lang
or
tayo.
cold?
Hot.
Hot. There you have it, folks.
Okay. No, like 3 a.m. wake up plunge routine.
Wala naman akong ipa-plunge. Wala akong pa-plunge dyan. Di
you
ba?
have any-
Shower lang naman yung meron kami.
Any weird like health wellness trend thing that you're into now?
Well, I'm diabetic. So I found out I was diabetic in my first term.
Oh.
And lagi nagfa-fluctuate yung weight ko. And maybe for the past 2 to 3 years talagang we started to, like me and my wife started to take our health more seriously. Kaya may hinire kaming nutritionist, tinraining yung health namin sa bahay.
Yeah.
So sa bahay, nakatakal yung mga, magugulat kayo, nakatakal yung mga meat. May
Yes.
Wow.
parang
Mga
isang
grammage,
ganun lang.
mga ganon.
Well, nung una, ganyan pa eh. Pero after a while, nagamay na namin na it's about this small.
Yeah.
So, ganito lang karaming kanin, ganito lang karaming karne, di ba? And then maraming gulay. So that's the last 2 years.
Wow.
And ano siya, I'm now at my college weight.
Wow.
Oo, proud ako dyan. Proud ako
Wow.
dyan.
Oh my goodness.
Oo, thank you. Ang highest weight ko was maybe about almost 220. 220 pounds. And during that time, parang lagi masakit yung tuhod ko, masakit yung ankles ko, lahat masakit. No? And then, naging full-fledged diabetic na ako and I started to lose weight. Now, I'm down to 185. Yeah, so
Was
that's
there anything-
35 pounds ago.
Is there ano yung food na you had to completely eradicate
Well,
from your diet?
Hindi
Like you
siya...
miss?
Well, nung naging diabetic ako, less on sweets talaga. And
Yeah.
sobra akong sweet tooth growing up.
Yes.
Like my mom, mahilig siya mag-bake, mahilig siya gumawa ng lahat ng maisip mo. So growing up, ano talaga, puro sweets.
Oh, okay.
Coca-Cola, sweets, talagang sugar. Ngayon, diet, like Coke Light ka lang,
Ah,
di ba?
okay, okay.
And less sweets na.
Yeah.
But really more now, it's about portioning. So less lang yung portions in general. Wala naman yung completely bawal, di ba?
I like that. I like that. Okay.
And you're getting old, tumatanda ka na rin eh. So you gotta watch your health and be more conscious
Of
rin.
course. Yes.
May batchmate na ako nagka-heart attack.
Oh no.
Oo, nasa ganung edad na kami that we have a batchmate. He recovered and he's doing well now. But yung ganon, may kilala ka nagka-heart attack na, di ba? So we're at that age na we really have to start taking better care of yourself.
Yeah.
So actually,
Sorry, I can't tell how old you are. You look
I'm
very
48.
Oh, what?
wow.
Yes, 48.
Wow. Never would have guessed.
All the plunging.
All the cool.
All the showers.
It's
All the
the hot
Shower.
shower.
Yeah. You are actually the comeback kid.
Okay.
Diba?
Pwede.
I mean,
I'll accept
aside from the, because it's such an
Do
interesting
you
story.
like that term?
Yeah.
Like the
I
title?
think so. 'Cause
Yes.
sorry.
Like,
You're not asking me. Sorry, but I like it. Because
you like it for him.
The
Okay.
story is so amazing because like you were 36 when you first won.
Yes.
You were the youngest senator ever elected. Correct.
No,
Correct.
no. I was the youngest senator in 2013.
Okay.
Si Ninoy Aquino will always be the youngest in our history.
Oh,
Really?
how old
because
was
they
he?
changed the rules after he won. So he won at 34. So day of election, 34. Day of assumption, 35 siya. Tapos may nagkaso niyan sa Supreme Court. Oh, ito, Supreme Court na naman, di ba? May nagkaso sa Supreme Court na hindi siya pinapaupong senador. And they ruled at that time na it's your age at the date of assumption. But in the 1987 Constitution, binago yung rules, ginawang your age on the date of election
Okay.
or on election day.
Okay.
So because of that, forever na siyang
Okay.
the youngest in our history. But he was 34 on election day, 35 when he assumed office already. So ako naman, I was 36 already by a few days in 2013. So I was the youngest during that time. I'm no longer the youngest.
No,
There are now 2 senators younger than me.
Oh.
The 2 Villars. Mark
Oh.
is a year younger, and then Camille Villar is way younger. I think she's like 40. So, 7 or 8 years younger than me.
Okay.
So, hindi na ako bata. Still one of the youngest though.
Sorry. Okay. I thought youngest to win. I thought,
Baka youngest looking na lang siya.
yeah.
Pwede. No, kasi nung second half of my first term, si Senator Pacquiao came on board and Senator Manny is actually younger than me.
Oh.
By a few months or a year, maybe at most a year. So yung joke namin, youngest siya pero youngest looking na lang ako. Kasi wala namang sumasapak sa mukha ko, 'di ba? So kaya ko mag-youngest looking at that time.
you were the it boy.
Ganon.
I mean youngest, second
Okay,
youngest
okay.
senator elected. And like parang everything was like on track. Like ako there was no Twitter, there was no Google.
Anong year? 2013?
Yeah.
Hindi
Ano
siya-
pa lang, pasimula pa lang siya.
Yeah, it wasn't. There was no like Facebook or Twitter. It's just like, oh, cool. That's you know, Bam Aquino. I guess he's the new. He's Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
right?
wow,
Parang
okay.
ganon. Like parang okay, game. And then your uncle wins. Pinoy wins, and then so it's like the path is there, right? And then biglang 2019.
Yes.
That was Ocho Derecho.
Yes. So Pinoy was president when I ran in 2013.
Oh.
Yung talagang malaking disruption was when Duterte won in 2016.
Okay.
And that's when social media changed, 'di ba? It took a different turn. Nauso yung trolling, nauso yung fake news. People became more vicious online.
Yeah.
Nung una akong tumakbo, ano pa yan eh. I always tell this story. Yung mga trolls nung panahong yon, medyo cute pa sila eh. Nung 2013, no, we always had a friendly troll who would change my Wikipedia page every day. Oo.
What?
Like, gigising siya sa umaga, papalitan niya yung Wikipedia ko, lalagay niya, Senator Bam Aquino is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Every day. And every day, yung comms namin, babaguhin, ibabalik. And then gigising siya the next day, ibabalik niya.
Yun lang, it's like kind of harmless.
Yun yung kanyang goal in life, di ba?
That's so
Kung
annoying.
sino ka man, let's meet up, man. Let's be friends. But in 2016, it became, mamatay ka, walang hiya ka. Ganun na eh. Nagbago talaga siya.
Yeah.
And in 2019, I was the only incumbent to run from this side of the political fence. And my dad actually told me, anak, matatalo ka. Huwag ka lang tumakbo, matatalo ka. Pero the decision at the time was, kung wala naman tatakbo nung panahong yun na incumbent, parang yung side natin parang naduwag or talagang nag-give up na.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really feel it was a choice not to run, even though imposible siya or mahirap siya. And we did our best. Talagang inikot namin yung buong Pilipinas. It was the loneliest campaign of my life. You know, kasi walang mayor na gusto kaming harapin. Yung mga negosyante na usually tumutulong, parang gino-ghost kami. Even the volunteers were hardly there. I mean, meron pa rin. Pero, I mean, talagang core group na lang yan. And in the end, I lost by 0.2%. You know? So, ang difference namin ni Nancy Binay, who was number 12, was like 0.2%.
That must have hurt.
Well,
My God.
alam mo,
0.2.
medyo, alam mo kasing mahirap yung kalaban eh. And if you remember those days, sometimes nakakalimutan na natin yung dark days na yun, di ba? If you remember those days, talagang, kumbaga, Luke Skywalker, the Empire Strikes Back talaga eh, di ba? Talagang ramdam na ramdam mo. All facets of your life ang Duterte administration during that time, di ba?
And then sumakto ng 2020, nag-pandemic.
Then nag-pandemic. So, I lost. I set up my new office, do other things. So, maybe this isn't for me anymore. Tapos nag-pandemya. So, you're kind of stuck. I wasn't in office, so wala akong reason to go outside. And my wife was working, so siya yung lumalabas. Ako yung nasa bahay, ako yung nagla-Lysol ng mga packages from Lazada and Shopee, yung ganyan, di ba? So, bago talaga buhay mo. And then 2021 happens, and everyone's talking about the next elections. And of course, during that time, kausap ko si VP Lenny and I became her campaign manager.
Yes.
And there was an option to run in 2022. In fact, ito some of my guys here, they wanted me to run kasi I was ranking in the surveys. Number 9 ako sa survey. And that was my promise sa kanila eh. Kung mag-top 10 tayo sa survey, tatakbo tayo. But I think the higher calling during that time was to support Vice President Lenny. No regrets. We entered that campaign with no expectations. In fact, I remember, sabi niya, Sen, para tong run ni Jovi Salonga in 1992. Alam niyo yung reference?
No.
So si Jovi Salonga was the Senate President in 1987, probably one of the most qualified to be president. But when he ran in 1992 against Miriam and Ramos and Imelda and Danding, he was like the 6th or 7th place. No? And ano yun, kumbaga parang ang reference niya doon was, we're gonna run, it's gonna be a good campaign, but I don't think I'm gonna win, or I don't think people will really support us. No? And this is 2021. So by the time that VP Lenny filed, parang na-feel namin na may electricity in the air. Parang iba, di ba? And yung dami ng tao sa 2022, yung reverse nung 2019, na walang katao-taong talagang lumabas at sumuporta. So from the loneliest campaign, you suddenly had the happiest campaign and the most
The
energetic campaign, di
happiest.
ba?
Oh my gosh.
People really came out. And feeling ko perfect storm na rin yun eh. Coming from a pandemic, coming from the Duterte time, suddenly people found their voice. You guys volunteered. Rami nag-volunteer, wala nag-charge, no? And parang naramdaman mo ulit yung people power spirit, di ba? People just really supporting and really wanting to help. And I always felt na parang maybe the loss in 2019 helped prepare me for 2022. Kasi mas fresh ka eh, 'di ba? Mas fresh yung ideas mo, mas fresh ka, mas ramdam mo yung pinagdadaanan ng mga tao, ng taong bayan. So that became, I think, a really important part of our history where people came out although hindi tayo umabot. No? Bitin tayo. Pero people came out.
Yeah.
Like, di mo masasabi na hindi natin napuno yung Makati Avenue,
Yes.
Emerald
Oh my God.
Avenue,
Yeah.
Huge areas all over the Philippines, di ba? Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, punong-puno yun. Si Ma'am Lenny was the one right after the elections. Actually, on Thursday, kasi she voted on Monday. She was in Naga. Nakita kami Thursday. And we had the pasasalamat rally,
Yes.
I think the next day ba, or that night or something, no?
In Ateneo? Or?
In Ateneo, no?
Yeah.
To cap the campaign, di ba?
Oh,
And alam mo, memories, no?
ang sakit.
Sabi niya, alam mo, Sen, nakakalimutan ng tao kung saan tayo nanggaling. And she's referring to the difficulties during the whole 6 years of the Duterte administration. Nakakalimutan ng tao kung saan tayo nanggaling. Nakakalimutan ng tao kung nasaan tayo noong 2019. Because she was a big part of our campaign. She was helping us out in a big way. In fact, nag-number 1 pa rin ako sa Bicol in that campaign, no?
Yeah.
Even though it was so hard. Sabi niya, so, kung tapos na, sayang to. Pero kung simula pa lang to, dapat masaya tayo kasi ang raming taong lumabas. And even though everybody was so depressed, no, kahit kami in my family, we were really depressed. Like nagka-psoriasis ako for the first time in my life, and I gained weight. That's when I started to lose weight after that. Kasi parang wala, bumigay yung katawan ko at a few months yun na medyo ang sama talaga ng lagay ng everything, right?
Yeah.
But she said, kung simula ito, then sulit yan. So look at it as a start, not as the end, di ba?
Ganda.
And by November of 2022, yung mga youth groups nag-i-invite na. Sila yung unang nag-iimbita. Yung mga middle-age groups, wala masyado, di ba? Masyadong na-depress. Medyo nag-depress, medyo nag-retreat yung iba. Yung mga iba naman nag-create ng NGOs and they became Angat Buhay chapters. Some of them went into their own civic work. But it was the youth that first organized. So, Kaya Natin Youth, Angat Kabataan, maraming groups.
Sen, ma'am,
Yun yung
sorry.
una nag-organize.
Those youth groups were not existent in the dark days.
Well,
Parang kumbaga, not compared to...
They
that
came out during the 2022 campaign.
campaign.
Doon sila talagang nag-activate. No?
Okay.
And I remember my first invitation was November of 2021 in Rizal. Angat Rizal. Angat Taytay pa nga ata, if I'm not mistaken. Puro kabataan. And they were talking about running for the SK elections kasi mag-SK elections na, preparing for that. And ako parang nahiya ako sa sarili ko na, if these young Filipinos aren't depressed and they're not giving up and they're still willing to fight, willing to organize, willing to work, dapat ganun din yung energy natin, di ba?
Yeah.
So, after that, tuloy-tuloy na yun. I'd accept invitations from different parts of the country from the end of 2022 all the way to 2023. No? And that's sort of parang that got the blood flowing again. And then I had 4 months fellowship in the US from August to December of 2023. Eh doon kasi more or less mag-isa ka lang. You know, my family came nung dulo. My wife would visit paminsan-minsan.
What was that for?
It was a fellowship sa Yale.
Oh.
So I was a Yale World Fellow, okay, in 2023. It's a 4-month program where you're half a student and half a lecturer. So maganda kasi may sweldo pa ako noon. I had an apartment there and fall, so ka-jacket ako. Alam mo yun? Tayo mga Pinoy, di ba? Every chance na mag-jacket, mag-jacket tayo. So ka-jacket ka, di ba? Feeling mo pogi ka. And then I would walk every day, maybe 7 or 8 blocks to the office. Back and forth. So I got healthy also. I started to cook, which I really enjoyed. At pagbalik ko, yun na. Desidido na ako na bumalik sa politika. So by May of 2024, I went, nakapal na mukha, no? I went on Karen Davila show and I said, I'm going back.
Yeah.
But at that time, ang hindi alam nung tao, yung survey ko, 24 to 32.
Oh, wow.
Oo.
Wow.
Sobrang layo. Okay? As in, people thought I was crazy. Parang nababaliw na ata tong si Aquino. Lalaban at 24 to 32, you're not supposed to run.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, hindi ka serious candidate
Yeah,
with those
yeah.
numbers. You know? But, you know, it was a leap of faith.
What was the biggest thought in your head that made you say, I'm gonna go for it?
I have something to give and I have nothing to lose. Meron pa ako mabibigay eh. Alam mo yun, feeling mo may bibigay pa ako eh. May contribute pa ako
Yeah.
eh. But at the same time, I mean, I've lost before. I've seen Lenny lose and she's great. I lost and picked up my life, di ba? What's the worst that could happen? Di ba? So, laban. And then, I have a friend na pastor na matagal ko ng kaibigan, like from the Senate days pa. Para siyang therapist ko, si Pastor Rico. And he's a good friend. Lagi kami nag-usap like once every 2 to 3 weeks. And sabi niya, alam mo, in every person's life, there always comes a point na may leap of faith ka. Na hindi mo alam kung ano yung mangyayari. Hindi mo alam kung ano yung, kung mananalo ka, matatalo ka, if it will be good or not. But we're all called to take that leap. And maybe this is your leap of faith.
Yeah.
Just, go for it. Trust that people will respond.
Yeah.
God won't let you go. And, just go out and do your best. I remember, kausap ko pa nun si Senator Risa at that time was helping us out, di ba? Tapos sabi ko, Sen, alam ko you're looking at our numbers at medyo malayo ako. Pero I'm gonna go for it pa rin. And she said, okay. Sabi niya ganyan. Si Kiko was higher than me. Wala rin siya sa top 12. But he was much higher. He was, I think, 13 or 14 at that time. This is like 2024.
Yeah.
Laban rin siya. And, in the end, turned out for the best. No, maraming twists and turns yung
Yes.
campaign na yon, di ba?
You were actually number 2.
In the end.
Right?
In the
Actually,
end.
I hate to admit this on the pod, but I think weeks before, like, we just kept talking like, my God,
Imposible to.
wala na. Kasi parang, di ba, what was the...
You were looking at the the choices.
And
We're like,
for the first time in our lives, mine. Ikaw, Sav was my, guiding light. Pero I was like, why will I go?
yeah, he was almost on that,
Like,
na parang,
parang
What-
I don't
what
wanna.
for pa?
Parang
why will I
wala
vote
na.
pa?
Like,
Parang ganun.
why?
binatukan ko siya.
Kanya ako.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But my question is, what was your ranking like a week before?
Yung April 28, si Okta had us at 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then may
okay.
internal survey ang Malacanang na nag-leak that had me at high of 7.
Okay.
Grabe.
So I kind of felt, ang feeling namin, aabot kami. Pero siguro, 8. 8 ang ano ko. 8 yung pinaka-goal ko na, mag-8 tayo. Kaya natin mag-8. But 2 was, so ito yung famous kwento dyan. Yung chief of staff ko si Ares. He got a call at 10 p.m. on election night. Tapos one of our supporters tawag, Ares, nakakahiya ang taong bayan. 10 o'clock na to so may resulta na. Nakakahiya. Hindi pinili si Bam at si Kiko. Ganyan. Of course, tataka siya. Pasok nga, di ba? Ano ba itong nangyayari sa bansa natin? Ganyan. Tapos sabi ni Ares, bro, pasok sila. Anong sinasabi mo? Nakapasok sila. Tapos sabi ng supporter, Hindi, nakatingin ako sa 6 to 12. Hindi sila nakapasok. Ganyan. Kasi nobody expected us to be number 2 and number 5.
Yes.
So wala talagang expectation na magta-top, no? So like I had a good feeling we would make it by the end. But definitely number 2 was out of the consideration set talaga.
The funny thing is, like, the media did not, like, nothing.
Yeah, I was
that wasn't,
gonna say
like 8 and that wasn't.
we really felt like
Hindi umabot yun sa
it
amin.
was impossible for you guys to get in. Yun
Well,
yung lumabas sa amin
Ito kasi, so one, marami talaga problema yung mga survey companies.
Yeah.
Even in America, mali-mali rin yung results nila. Like they had Kamala Harris at the same level or even above Trump. No, this is the last elections ng America. And the reverse happened. He won all of the swing states, di ba?
Yes.
So baka yung methodology, baka may problema na rin talaga. And maybe they have to update their methodology for the modern times. That's number 1.
I don't even know how that works. The surveys. Like,
Kakatok ka sa bahay.
Ganun ba talaga?
Oo, kakatok ka sa bahay, magtatanong ka. So, marami ng theories right now why they got it wrong.
Yeah.
But I think maganda na rin yan kasi it frees us from the tyranny of the survey.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Na noon, lagi tayo nakatutok sa survey. Yung mga gustong magtumulong o gustong tutulong lang sa mga matataas.
Yes.
It frees us eh. Ngayon, may freedom na tayo to help the people we want to help. Kahit nasaan pa sila. Kahit ano pa sila. Kahit ano pa kami. Tulungan nyo yung gusto nyo tulungan. Malay mo manalo. Diba? It frees us up. Diba? Kasi, I'll be honest, yung survey parang nagiging mind conditioning na rin siya
Yep.
through the past
Yep.
elections.
Oh,
And now-
muntik nang di bumoto.
Exactly. That's exactly it, 'di ba? So now malaya na tayo diyan, 'di ba? We can make our own decisions even without these surveys, 'di ba?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
one. Two is ang isa pang theory is yung paglabas ng mga tao happens faster than before. Kumbaga noon it takes you months before a person changes his mind. Ngayon may napanood sa YouTube, may nakausap, they can change their mind.
Yeah.
And ang na-monitor namin is a lot of people really decided on the last few days. Going into the last few days. Hindi sila parang saradong-sarado.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a few, and it's a choose 12. So maybe there's a few na sarado ka na. Pero baka yung next 2 or 3, may space ka pa for other names or other choices.
Yeah.
It's very interesting kasi during the campaign, we also saw the implosion of the uni team. No?
Yeah.
Ayun, malaking bagay yun.
Yes,
Nung
yes.
nag-implode yung uni team, nagka-space for the independents, di ba?
Yeah.
So me and Kiko, nagka-space kami bigla. A lot of big names na mas entertainment yung kanilang background didn't make it.
Yeah.
Usually, a lot of the entertainers will make it. Ngayon, hindi. No? So,
Love
maraming changes. And of course, and I think this is the biggest reason kung ba't kami nanalo at nag-top. A lot of young people went out and voted. And they campaigned and they convinced their parents. So, I think yung slowly getting up to maybe number 9, yun yung kabataan.
Yeah.
And then yung last push was the young people convincing their
Converting,
parents
oo,
to
yeah.
vote for us as well. Nung na-convince nila yung mga magulang, boom, tumaas bigla yung numero. And, more or less, I think that's what basically happened in the campaign. No?
So speaking of mga pinupush na iba-ibang algorithm, what I was seeing was like this controversial thing that happened in the Senate.
Aside from the plunging the sauna, though, I think the more important thing is you joining the minority. The majority.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
You and Senator Kiko.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, can you please explain?
Okay.
As if like we don't know anything.
I'll be a Twitter ranter.
Okay.
Na parang, ano ba yan? Grabe, I voted for you, I trusted you. Bakit ganon? Bakit ka nag-join ng majority
I
bloc?
think the major point of confusion is that joining the majority changes your national political alliance.
Okay.
Walang nagbago sa political alliances, no. I haven't joined the administration, I haven't joined the Duterte team. We're independent. And I keep on telling people, alam niyo, ang laki nung panalo natin. We won in such a big way. Ngayon pa tayo magbago ng political alignment.
Yeah.
Napakita nga natin na kaya nating manalo for the first time in a really long time.
Yeah.
Ngayon pa tayo magbago ng political alignment. I think that's just not logical. But joining the majority in the Senate is really a matter in the Senate. Hindi siya nagre-reflect pagdating sa national politics. In fact, you saw that in the impeachment vote. No, at the end of the day, yung impeachment vote showed the national political alliances, di ba?
Because you and Senator Kiko and
Senator
Sen.
Risa and Tito Sen voted not to archive
Not
the
to archive.
impeachment case, no?
Yes.
So that's a vote that reflects the national political alignment. Pero pagdating sa Senado, your committees or your ability to push reforms depends on whether you're majority or minority.
Okay.
No? So, going into the Senate, my goal is to do reforms in education. That was the campaign line. That's where I've built most of my policy work. And kung di mo makukuha yung chairmanship, you're not gonna be able to run the hearings, do the reforms, and do any of the things that you want to do talaga. So for me, yung mga reforms yung pinakamahalaga. And at that time, dun sa grouping yan, parang yung the boat is sinking, form yourselves into groups of ganyan.
Okay.
And at that time, the minority would have been largely composed of Senator Soto's bloc, which included Senator Zubiri, Senator Legarda as well, and Senator Lacson. Diba? So, hindi feasible for me to join the minority when your group will be a minority in the minority.
Oo nga.
Okay.
Oo.
I gets.
So talagang yung ability mo to push the reforms will really be hampered. And the Education Committee is really a committee for the majority. So nag-usap-usap na kami niyan. And si Senator Kiko, I don't want to speak for him, but similarly, of course, yung promises niya are about food prices.
Agree.
Pakabigat and agriculture. That's always been his advocacy. And a lot of the laws that he's passed, dun talaga nakafocus rin. So, for us to be able to push for the reforms, we need to get these committees. And yun yung primary sa akin. I have to join whoever wins a Senate President. Kasi kung nandun ako sa majority, makukuha ko yung committee. And the Education Committee, Agriculture Committee, Health Committee, these are like the biggest committees in the Senate. Ito yung like literally malaki, meaning maraming members, but also malaki in the sense na it's like education's the biggest budget in our national budget. So pag committee chairman ka, mai-investigate mo yan. And the other day, we had our hearing, we uncovered that government builds classrooms at 3.4 million pesos per classroom, while local government units and NGOs build it for about 1.5 million. Kalahati ng presyo. Diba? Hindi ako makakapag-hearing, hindi ko mapupursue yung area na yan, hindi ko mapapass ng mga bills kung hindi ka chairman of the committee.
Ano kaya yung materials na gamit nila for...
Ginto. Si Senator Lawrence said, ginto ba ang gamit dyan? No, so we're gonna uncover that. And again,
And that's
because you're...
classroom only, right?
Classroom. So because you're chairman of the committee, you can compel them to submit the documents. We already have volunteers from the architects and the civil engineers to compare ano ba yung mga ginagawa ng mga NGOs. So these are groups like Angat Buhay, Hope Foundation, Chinese Chamber of Commerce, Security Bank Foundation, who have been building classrooms for years. Okay?
Yeah.
Ang presyo nila anywhere from 1 to maybe 1.7 million pesos. Ang DPWH nasa 3.4 to 5 million pesos. Okay? So taas kilay, lahat ng kilay po dito tumataas, no?
This is for public schools.
Yes. And we have such a huge classroom gap. Ang bagal na nga nila gumawa, napakataas pa ng presyo nila. No wonder na ganito yung problema natin. Okay.
What is the current
And
classroom gap?
165,000 conservative.
165,000 ang kulang na
Ang kulang.
classroom.
Wala pa dyan yung sira, kailangan i-repair, nagdo-double shift, nagdo-triple shift. Wala pa dyan, ha? It's only 165,000 purely na classroom gap. So if you're gonna add all of this, napakarami pa niyan. You know, and you wouldn't be able to uncover this kung hindi ikaw yung chairman. Hindi mo mako-compel yung mga agency, magpakita kayo ng dokumento, analyze natin yan dito, iisa-isahin natin yan dito, kung hindi ka chairman ng committee. So that's why these chairmanships are really important.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a means to an end, basically. And
yeah.
during the time na nagkakagulo, so many people had their comments. So one, I really think may grupo talaga who wants to divide the group. No? So, natural yun sa politika. Pag malakas kayo, gusto kayong basagin. Diba? And we've shown na malakas tayo. So may mga grupo talaga dyan. They want to separate the groups. Fine. Nangyayari talaga yan sa politika. But I felt na the best way to respond is to do the work. Let's show people what it means to be a real chairman of a powerful committee in the Senate, where you can really uncover things, You can push for real laws and real reforms. You can analyze and look at the budget and make sure na yung pera ng bayan napupunta sa tama and do the work. That's the way I'm gonna respond to all of this noise na in the first 2 weeks. Honestly, kahit ako nagulat rin ako sa level of noise. And a lot of people were commenting without really knowing how the Senate works.
Yeah.
Diba? Kumbaga, marami nagko-comment, makukuha mo yan kung kahit minority ka. Hindi talaga. Hindi talaga pwede mangyari yan. Or, so many things.
What
So many
would
things.
compel someone to join the minority though? Sorry, Bobo.
Well, kung yun yung role na gusto mo. So, kunyari, in our history, we have fiscalizers.
Okay.
Like Joker Arroyo. Sino pa ba yung mga laging minority? May mga archetype na ganyan eh.
They
na-
want to be parang kontra, parang
Kontra.
or audit and
Yes,
Checks
and that's
and
important.
balances.
Yes.
That's also
Yes.
really important. Kumbaga, ano ba role ng senador? To pass laws, oversight, pwede yung oversight, 'di ba? Yung talagang pinupuna mo yung mga bagay na dapat punahin. You have the budget, so we have fiscalizers like Senator Lacson. He was in the majority before, he's in the minority now, pero pareho pa rin yung kanyang goal, which is to go after the budget and make sure the budget is done right, no? So may mga roles talaga na best fit for the minority. But if you're in the minority, your committees tend not to be the big committees. Education, labor, health, agriculture, and ako kasi I know where I'm good at eh. Dito ako magaling eh. I'm really good at creating laws. That's why I won because of the laws we were able to create in our first term. And pag umikot rin ako, alam ko rin yung kailangan ng tao eh. And there are different ways to help. Sometimes you help by pointing out the mistakes. And sometimes tutulong ka kasi gumagawa ka ng mga reformang mahalaga. And I think yung strength ko nandoon. To build, no? To create reforms, to build, to get people to come together. That's my strength. Kaya that's why ito yung path na napili natin.
Pero, Sen, kunwari, like, what is parang in the most, like, the simplistic version of, like, a day na you're, what the difference of being a majority and minority? Kunwari, let's say,
Technically, parang, by the way, walang block voting sa Senado ah. Sa Kongreso kasi may ganyan eh. Na you vote together as a party.
okay.
Sa Senado, kanya-kanya yan. And no one's gonna say, kailangan you vote this way. Hindi. Talagang kanya-kanyang boto kayo. And you saw that in the impeachment vote.
Yeah.
Even members of the majority voted to pursue the impeachment. Even members of the minority voted not to pursue the impeachment. So at the end of the day, kapag mahalaga yung boto, talagang conscience vote yan. You vote based on your conscience. But traditionally, the minority is there to be the watchdog of the majority.
Yes.
Diba? So, kunyari, magpapasa ako ng classroom acceleration program. Anyone can question. Anyone can question. Both majority and minority. Pareho lang yan. Pero traditionally, expected yung minority to be the ones to ask the questions. And I was deputy minority leader during President Duterte's time. So, alam ko rin yung role na yon.
Yeah.
Diba? So, ang nangyari noon was, we were all in the majority. Sinipa kami sa majority. Ginawa kaming minority. And tinanggalan ako ng committee. So from being chairman of education, tinanggal yon and binigay sa ibang tao nung nasa minority na ako. So alam ko rin na these committees which are important for our people, makakamit mo lang talaga yan kung nandito ka sa majority. But voting-wise, walang package deal yan. It's really up to you where and how you want to vote.
Who gets to decide? Sorry, ang dami kong mga disclaimer
No, please,
bobo question. Who gets to decide like, okay, education goes to you?
So ano yan? Kasi you vote for the Senate President, di ba? So the group decides. And people will say, ako, kaya si Senator Kiko, I've been in agriculture for a long time. I want the Agri Committee. And depende lang kung may ibang tao na, hindi, gusto ko rin yan.
Okay.
O mag-uusap-usap
So you guys
kayo.
decide to,
Or magbobotohan. Or most likely mag-uusap-usap yan on the side, di ba? And then yung ayaw ninyong committees, yun yung ibibigay nyo sa minority.
Ganon.
Is that
Yes.
why Senrisa got the women's rights?
Si Senator Risa has had that before.
Okay.
And she's really good in that committee. But that also means nobody in the majority wanted that
it.
committee.
And that's why she was able to run the POGO hearings and all those things.
Yes.
So I guess that's yung question ko kasi like you're saying, there's a discrepancy in the classrooms, right? And obviously that's your main agenda?
Well, there's a 7-point agenda. We can go into it later.
There's a whole agenda.
Whole agenda, yes.
Basically, education is very problematic. We need to improve it, right? So if you were in the minority, kunwari lang, let's say we succumb to the internet and you decided na, sige guys, sabi niyo gusto niyo ako maging minority.
Okay, ito.
Pero ito yung sitwasyon. What
would you be able to do?
I'd probably still get my second committee, which is Science and Technology.
Okay.
Kasi hindi siya seen as a major committee. And you'd have one committee.
Okay.
Diba? But now, I have both education and science and technology.
So you have two.
So, bakit ko kinuha yung dalawang yun? Because internet connectivity in the schools is really important.
Yes.
And pag may SciTech ka, kaya mo yung oversight nung internet connectivity of the public schools. So, I went into this, meron kaming agenda. Like, hindi kami pumasok dito na parang wala lang or we had a plan. And the plan is, how can we improve education at the basic level? Higher Ed, by the way, I'm vice chair of Higher Ed. So, iba pa yung Higher Ed committee. So, hindi ko nakuha both. Of course, I wanted both. But, syempre, other senators wanted other committees as well. So, in the end, I'm chairman of Basic Education. That's why we're doing the classrooms and the nutrition, tulong sa mga teachers and all of this. No? And you're gonna see that in the next few months. I'm chairman of Science and Technology. So primarily we focus on internet connectivity, including the connectivity of our schools. I'm vice chair for Higher Ed para mabantayan namin yung implementation ng Free College Law, which was one of my laws in the first term.
Snaps.
And then I'm also vice chair of Finance, handling the budget for education. More or less lahat yan, di mo yun makukuha kung wala ka sa majority.
Okay.
No. So, it's important to be able to have those positions so that you can do what you want to do, which is to improve our educational system. And I've always said this, sana lahat tayo, pag pumapasok tayo sa politika, may plano tayo. May agenda, di ba? I wanna do something. Hindi ka naman pwedeng nandun kasi wala kang plano, wala kang gustong gawin.
May mga tumakbo na ganun.
No, whatever, di ba?
I remember.
I'd like to think yung mga kaalyado naman natin, pumapasok dito dahil may plano, may gustong gawin. And, you know, many of these things I'm saying, it's not new. Ito yung pinag-usapan in the campaign. Di ba? Ang rami mong, you're talking every day in the campaign, ang rami mong plano, siguro naman, tama lang na gawin mo lahat ng mga sinabi mo, di ba?
Yes.
And for me, hindi mo magagawa yon kung hindi mo makukuha itong mga committees.
Yes. And similar to what Mayor Lenny said about simula pa lang to, di ba? Parang the work doesn't stop when you win a seat, right? You keep going and keep working on giving the people what you promised them.
Exactly.
So,
And ano rin ang raming problema ng Pilipinas sa totoo lang. Napakaraming problema. We're in an education crisis and you know, if I have a role to play in solving this crisis, you know, even if it's one step in 25 steps, gagawin at gagawin ko yan. And, you know, I don't, like people are saying, oh, did you compromise your principles? I don't feel I compromised my principles. I think, you know, my votes are not going to change on so many issues. Pero this allows me to be able to be a more effective leader and an effective senator. Mas magagawa ko yung kailangan kong gawin para sa bayan. Diba?
and I think that's more important. How does your family feel about all of this? Because just to share, like when I was younger, my dad would joke about like, "Ano kaya akong mayor ng Antipolo?" So I was like, no! Like,
Why not?
I was like, no, because in my head, diba, it's like politics equals dangerous, equals, you know, it's scary and I don't want that. And so I just wonder, like, how does your family feel about this?
Alam mo, I'm so happy that everybody came together for the 2025 elections. So my wife ran the campaign. She took a leave from her really great job, and you know, thanks to her bosses, that they allowed her to take a leave. She ran the campaign. My mom nag-viral kasi nangangampanya siya for me sa maraming lugar. My kids were campaigning in their school sa mga teachers and sa mga security guards. Yung anak ko may tanong sabi niya, "Dada, if they accept your baller, does that mean they'll vote for you?" Sabi ka dyan.
Oh, cute.
Sabi ko, no. But that's why you have to remind them every day. Mga ganyan, di ba? My cousins helped out. My brother retired early to help out. So, talagang lahat talaga tumulong. My friends, like yung main quote-unquote fundraising team ko, barkada ko from high school. You know, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of my staff who I worked with in 2013,
Yeah.
many of them were volunteers. In fact, until now, may volunteers pa rin tayo, di ba? Volunteers sila in the campaign. I mean, kumbaga, I couldn't pay them naman what they were already earning, but tumulong pa rin sila para sa bayan, di ba? So, you know, it was, and everybody joined when I was 24 to 32. Yun yung medyo mas nakaka ano ng puso eh, 'di ba?
I think the difference doon sa situation yung sa akin was your family saw how much you were preparing for this, how much you were really into this, as opposed to my dad who's like eating pizza and like
Takbo kaya ako.
yeah, he's joking, he's like teasing us, and it's like, yeah, so obviously
That would have been cool though. That would have been very cool.
But no, I'm glad that he did.
So, you know, maraming tumulong, maraming volunteers, and you know, until now, we're still going around thanking people. Like, hindi pa tapos yung pag-iikot namin to thank people for all the support that they gave. And, you know, we spent much less than our competitors. Marami dyan talagang yung volunteers yung gumawa. Until today, sa Senate, di ba? Sen, nagpagawa ko ng 30 tarpaulins mo. Ganyan. Kinabit ko sa bahay namin, sa village namin. Ganyan. Kinabit ko sa barangay. And we didn't have direct contact with a lot of them, of these volunteers, di ba? Talagang sila lang nagkusa to do it. A lot of young people, until today, say, Sen, kinampanya kita sa nanay at tatay ko. Bumoto sila. I think compared din to 2022, a lot of the young people who attended our rallies in 2022, I don't think they were registered.
Yes.
Kasi by the time na na-excite sila to join the campaign,
late
na yung registration.
Good point. Oo
Diba?
nga.
After 2022, between 2022 and 2025, there was 6 million new registrants. Many of whom were first-time voters and young people. So, laking bulto nun. Pangalawa, I don't think they were able to convince their parents to vote for Lenny in 2022. But ngayong 2025, napakaraming lumalapit pa rin sa akin. Sen, binoboto lang kita dahil sa anak ko. With a smile naman. Alam ko, thank you po. Oh, kinukulit kasi ako ng anak ko, kaya kita binoto eh. Ganyan, di ba? So, I think those two factors really led to that almost 21 million votes. No?
Amazing.
Quick question. So, recently, si Mayor Vico, he parang publicized like the top contractors that Pasig has been using for flood control. So technically, if you are the chairman, like you could actually show that information to the public, like parang sino yung nagbi-build nitong mga galanting
We
5
intend.
million classrooms?
So the chairman of finance now is Senator Win Gatchalian, and we passed a concurrent resolution yesterday, which I co-sponsored, to really be more transparent with the budget process. So every step of the way, ipapublish online, and then pwede magtanong yung mga tao with regard to questions like this, and the committee will endeavor to answer it and be very, very transparent. This is coming from a 2025 budget na maraming may ayaw. At maraming nagsabi na hindi maganda yung paggagawa, pagkabuo. 350 billion worth of flood control. Flood out of control naman yung nakita natin. You know, so parang may shift. May shift towards a more transparent budget, towards a budget na mas nakatutok yung mga tao. And ngayon, cross-majority, minority, marami nagbabantay. Kasama na tayo dyan. So I'm gonna start with the classrooms. Bakit 3.4 million pesos ang DPWH at 1.5 million lang ang mga NGOs at LGUs?
And
That's the first question I wanna ask.
The difference there could really be going, the money could be going to the teachers.
It could. Or
Diba?
it could mean 2 classrooms.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, yung target mo na 40,000, actually 80,000 yung kaya mong maabot. And that was my challenge to the agencies in the last hearing. Sabi ko, look, magkano yung ginagastos natin? Kung matipid natin to, mas marami tayong mabibuild. And it shouldn't take us 3 years to build a classroom. These NGOs are less than a year. 8 months, nakakagawa na sila. Bakit tayo? 3 taon.
That's the average now from the DPWH.
That's from the EDCOM report.
3
EDCOM 2
years
report.
for a
To build a
classroom.
classroom.
And what ilang square meters? 20 square meters?
7 by 9. 7 by 9. 63 square meters. And other groups are doing it in 6 to 8 months. 'Di ba? So ang raming lumalabas na mga ang raming sinasabi, you know, hindi kasi yung soil preparation, hindi kasi yung lupa ganyan. We're gonna go and really get all the data which we can do because we're chairman of the committee. We can get that data, really come up with an analysis, and for our second hearing, ipapublish natin yan para lahat ng tao makita ano ba yung differences talaga and justifiable ba to o hindi.
Yeah.
Of course, in the end, if we're able to pass the law, we should be able to put together a big fund na kung saan the LGUs, the NGOs, and different groups will be able to build all at the same time.
What would be the okay, as an outsider, Nico gets, what is the downside to being transparent about the budget? Why is it taking so long? Because I feel like we've been talking about this for like so long.
And sorry,
Wala siyang downside.
Diba?
Wala
So
siyang
parang
downside.
ano
Di ba President Pinoy had he implemented this thing, right? When he
Si
right?
open budget, di ba?
Something I forget.
It was during Pinoy's time that we first started to put the budget online for everyone to see.
That's it.
Yeah. And to be fair, during Duterte's time, tinuloy niya yan. So even the budget during President Duterte's time, it's also online. To be fair. Even now,
Pero budget pa lang, hindi yung like...
the final
actual-
document.
Oo.
Okay. Now, kung makita mo yan, hindi siya ganun kadaling intindihin. Like, medyo mahirap siyang intindihin. So, what Senator Win did is every step of the budget process, ilalabas online. So, from DBM, goes to Congress, lalabas sa Congress, goes to the Senate, lalabas sa Senate, pupunta sa BICAM, lalabas sa BICAM, pipirmahan ng Presidente. Matatrack mo yung differences. And the reason why importante yon is because during the BICAM, dyan nagkakaroon ng mga nasa slash, nalilipat sa gantong proyekto, lumalaki yung flood control bigla, ganyan. And by pushing for a transparent process, makikita talaga every step of the way, asan itong mga changes na to. Of course, hoping it will be a deterrent for people na galawin yung budget in a bad way.
Okay.
Gets.
So yun yung
So may downside. Kung magnanakaw ka, may downside sa'yo. Di ba?
Yes. Isa pang question ko is, as an outsider, like, how is it possible na we can just archive parang knowing the truth about the impeachment?
Impeachment.
Like, bakit
Oh, yun
posibleng...
pala. Parang what's
Let's just not
what's
talk
going
about
on?
it.
What's
So,
going on?
What's-
ito yung nangyari dyan. No? So, nagsukat na ako ng robe. Okay? May picture pa kami. Pinost natin, di ba? Uy, okay tong robe na to. Pogi tayo. Ganyan. Wala. That robe will gather dust in my cabinet kasi never din magagamit. Okay. Ano nangyari? The Supreme Court decided, is it 3 Fridays ago? 3 Fridays ago? Or roughly? That the impeachment complaint had defects. Okay? So the complaint itself had defects. It's not about the innocence or guilt of Vice President Duterte. No. So we're not talking about innocence or guilt here. In fact, wala pa ang ebidensyang pinipresent sa Senate, eh, 'di ba? So in a trial, of course, you have to present evidence for and against, 'di ba? Wala pa tayo doon. It didn't even get to that point. The Supreme Court stepped in and said, may mga problema yung complaint and therefore it's void ab initio. It's as if it never happened.
So it's like a mistrial.
No, because a mistrial presumes the trial started.
Yeah.
Ito, wala.
Yeah.
As in.
The application form ay so hindi Pero Congress had the hearings, right? They were
Even the Senate started the process already. Nag-oath-taking na sila in the last Senate, di ba?
yeah.
So, it was a major decision to ng Supreme Court. And legal experts all over gave their comments. And there are a few rin who sided with the Supreme Court. But a lot of the other legal experts said, we don't think tama yung decision ninyo, or with all due respect, parang may mga hindi kayong nakita na mga ganito. And of course, Congress sent a motion for reconsideration to the Supreme Court, di ba?
That's what happened pala.
So because of that, in the Senate, ang tanong ngayon, itutuloy ba natin to o hindi? Meron ng Supreme Court decision na dapat wag tong ituloy. Now, kung wala yun, I think most of my colleagues would have pushed for a trial, 'di ba? And then decided later on, based on the trial, to convict or to acquit. But because nagka-Supreme Court decision, marami sa mga colleagues ko decided na, hindi, let's just abide with the Supreme Court decision and just not push through and to archive the case, 'di ba? But there were a few of us, in fact, specifically 4 of us, who said, no, we should push through with the impeachment trial because the Constitution says it's our sole power to try and decide impeachment cases. Kumbaga, sa Constitution natin, ang Senado lang ang merong ganung klaseng kapangyarihan. So it should be up to us not up to a co-equal branch of government. Everybody gave their positions. I also gave my position. In the end, nagkaboto. And 19 voted to archive. 4 of us voted to push not to archive. And 1 abstained.
And what would be the reason to archive it?
Most of them simply said that we have to respect the Supreme Court decision. Tama naman guys, di ba? Hingi ako dito ng advice. Tama, right? No?
Pero
Most of them
trip
said
ng
that.
Supreme Court? Like, bakit sila parang...
Anong trip nila? Well, ito again, I will preface with all due respect, but many of us didn't agree with some of the things that they included, di ba? In fact, in the gallery in the Senate were 2 framers of the Constitution, meaning 2 people who wrote it. Si Christian Monsod at si Ed Garcia. They are people who made the Constitution in 1986. And they said, we don't agree with that interpretation because we intended it to be this way. And yung pinag-uusapan nila dyan is the provision na kung may 1/3 of the Congress na may signatures, that the impeachment will then be transmitted to the Senate for trial. Okay? In the Supreme Court decision, sinabi nila, no, mali na yan ngayon. Hindi na pwede yan. Yung 1/3 signatures diretso sa Senate, kailangan pumunta yan sa committee, kailangan makapag-respond yung defendant. They added steps, basically.
Pwede ba yun?
Well, that's their decision, di ba? Now, what did the framers say? The framers said, no, that's not our intention. Ang intention namin, 1/3 para mabilis.
Yes.
Para for speed, diretso na sa Senate na yung trial, di ba? So, some of the people who've objected to the decision said, we haven't even heard what the framers' position is. Ano ba talaga yung intention nila when they wrote that in the Constitution? Bakit tayo gumagawa ng mga dagdag na steps? Si Senator Soto naman raised some points na, no, I think they misunderstood some of the facts of the case. Diba? So maraming ganyan. A lot of things. But bottom line dyan, it's archived. It's archived. By the way, the Supreme Court said na you can commence another impeachment complaint in February of 2026. I don't know what's gonna happen in 2026 kung matutuloy yan o hindi. But for now, naka-archive na siya pending the final decision on the motion for reconsideration ng Supreme Court.
Okay, so what is your fearless forecast of what's gonna happen to all of this?
Wala na, na-archive na.
Ayan, okay na. So we're just gonna pretend it didn't happen.
That's basically what the Supreme Court is saying. Hindi siya pretend. It didn't happen. Kasi void ab initio. In effect, yan ang sinasabi ng Supreme
So
Court.
parang annulment.
Parang annulment. Parang inannul. Kaya ang tanong nga na,
it never
so ano
happened.
yun? Nag-oath-taking pa yung mga tao, may mga robe na tayo. So ano yun? Parang guni-guni lang, di ba? Parang binura nila lahat yun, di ba? In effect, ganun yung
So
decision
the
nila.
data that was presented, sila Mary Grace Piatos, right? Like,
Well, I know that Congress will pursue
They'll still continue.
Quadcom.
Okay.
And of course, that's still an option for Congress to wait until February to file another case. That's their option.
Sa Feb pa though.
But for the Senate, and again, ang boto ko was not to archive, but because nanalo yung archive, it's archived.
Okay.
And maghihintay tayo ng decision. So in fairness to some of the people in the Senate, sabi naman nila, if the Supreme Court changes its decision, then we will vote to unarchive the case.
So they can change their decision. What, like, can they like just do anything they want? Because they can add steps. They can.
baka gutom
all due
sila when they
respect.
decided. Baka
Kasi
hindi pa sila
Supreme
kumakain nun nung
Kaya sila Supreme, di ba? I mean, honestly, ang position ko, by the way, for the record, kasi on the record tayo dito, for the record, was for the Senate to convene as an impeachment court. So technically, we did this decision not as an impeachment court, but as the Senate. Yun palang question mark na for some of the other senators who objected. My position was, let's convene as an impeachment court, let the new senators take their oath as senator judge, because we didn't take our oath. Kumbaga, hindi ako naging senator judge. Sabagay, nobody did pala kasi void ab initio pala, no? So, my position was, let's convene as an impeachment court and let's decide as an impeachment court what to do. Sa pagkakaalam ko, dalawa lang kasi yung pwede dyan convict or acquit. Di ba? Pero nagkaroon bigla ng dismiss. Ngayon, meron na yung archive. Di ba? So, you know, even that step of convening as an impeachment court was not granted by the body. No. So, what's gonna happen? Probably, hihintayin natin yung decision ng Supreme Court. Maybe they will allow for oral arguments. That was one of the requests of the different groups. mag-oral arguments naman kayo, which is you open it up to the public and you let the framers of the Constitution speak, you let legal luminaries give their position para during your deliberation, may mga inputs, di ba, from different groups. So, that's gonna be the first thing. Anong mangyayari sa decision nila on the motion for reconsideration? Assuming hindi yun mag-grant, then the ball is with Congress now. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna pursue the investigations? Are they gonna let it lie and then bubuhayin ulit in February? Or, gaya ng sinabi ng Supreme Court, parang wala na lang. That's really up to them.
Wild. If when we guess them, we'll be like, with all due respect, anong trip nyo?
Anong trip nyo?
Pare, with all due respect, ano ba yung trip nyo?
Ano ba yung trip
No, pero alam mo, maganda to get them here, even the spokesman, para talagang matanong ninyo.
I would love to.
Diba?
do that. Natatakot lang
Natatakot
ako.
ako
Baka
eh.
naman may...
Hindi ka naman abogado eh. Yung mga abogado have to be careful because they
ganon,
could be disbarred.
Oh.
Diba?
Maka-cancel na lang sila ganun. We can do that.
Kakancel yung lisensya mo bilang abogado, di ba? Or you can be held in contempt. But I guess in this case, maybe one of the justices or one of the spokespersons can come and baka gusto sumama rin ako para magtanong na rin ako para
This
marami rin kaming
is an open invitation.
Oo, why
If you're
If
interested.
you're a justice and you're currently...
Supreme. Okay.
Well, I'd like to
Gosh,
end actually. So
I
thank
learned
you
so much.
for spending so much time with us. Honestly, I want to share also na parang grabe all this information that you're sharing. It's so easy to manipulate all these things, right? Like just imagine this podcast, at least, you know, that's the point of having long form. You can inform, you can educate, like, but kalaban natin is like 3-second snippets, like
Out of context.
the Aquinos are blank, blank, blah, 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 blah. Minority, majority, whatever. I wanted to ask, like, since you were on the ground and you've been seeing, like, what do the Filipinos want na talaga? Like, parang, yeah.
Alam mo, honestly, they want help. They want a better life. Most Filipinos, ang hinahanap talaga, kapag may sakit yung anak ko, hindi ako kinakabahan pumuntang ospital. My child can have a good education, have a good job eventually. Pag kailangan ko ng tulong, may tutulong sa akin. And that's the role of government. Diba? I mean, we pay taxes for healthcare, for education. Kaya naka-high blood to eh. Maririnig mo, bakit dito 3.4 million yung presyo ng classroom, dito 1.5. Ma-high blood ka kasi lahat naman yan galing rin sa pera ng bayan. Those are our taxes, di ba? Hindi naman yan galing sa whoever o sa isang tao o sa bilyonaryo. That comes from us. Di ba? So if you talk to regular Filipinos, ang hinahanap nila is a responsive government. A government that can respond to the regular, everyday needs of our countrymen. And pasok dyan ang edukasyon, kalusugan, pagkain. Bring it back to basics. A lot of our countrymen, basics yung wala. Pag umuulan, ayoko nang mabaha. Di ba parang basic lang yun na hindi dapat bumaha sa lugar
bare
natin?
minimum.
After all, we're spending 350 billion pesos sa flood control. I mean, sometimes kasi yung billion, hindi naiintindihan ng tao eh. Napakalaki ng mga perang yan.
I don't even know
Napakalaki.
what that looks like.
Di ba? Napakalaki ng mga perang yan. And parang, you know, saan napupunta? Di ba? So, Filipinos, I think primarily, they want their children safe. They want their children to be able to have healthcare, be able to go to school, have a good job, live here, and not necessarily have to leave the country. Sobrang basic lang. And alam mo yung, at least kami sa office namin, tier sa amin yun. And we have a role to play in delivering those services. We have a role to play in finding the money for those programs, di ba? And we're gonna do our best to do that. Kung ano man ang kailangan natin gawin para mabigay yun, gagawin namin yun. Kasi palagay ko, kaya kami nahalal para ibigay yan, di ba? We were elected to deliver on those promises, to deliver on those services that our countrymen deserve. And that's it eh. Deserve natin yan eh. Kasi parang, kumbaga parang pangarap na magkaroon ng basic education, pangarap na magkaroon ng classroom. Basic nga yung mga yan eh. Kaya ako committee chairman, basic education. What's basic? Diba? It's basic versus extra, diba? Yung pakiramdam natin, magandang classroom, extra. It should be basic. Diba? So alam mo yung parang nakaka-frustrate sometimes na itong mga really simple things that our countrymen should expect. Diba? That we deserve and should expect. Kasi nagbabayad naman lahat tayo ng tax. Kahit yung hindi nagbabayad ng income tax, nagbabayad ng tax sa VAT.
Yes,
diba?
yes.
So we should expect the basics. We should deserve even a little bit higher because dapat naman galing-galingan natin tong serbisyo sa publiko, diba? And until we get there, laging kulang tong binibigay ng until we get to these basics. Talagang yung taong bayan natin mahinahanap pa talaga. And lahat ng mga tumatakbo, nagpe-presenta ng sarili nila at eventually nananalo, yung trabaho natin yan, di ba? That's what we need to provide and we need to give, di ba?
As we end, I guess what I want to ask from you is maybe words of wisdom or advice for people who feel like wala, hopeless talaga tong Pilipinas. What can you tell the people?
Paano tayo magiging hopeless? 21 million votes tayo, di ba? Almost 21. Alam mo, ito okay, this is what I kept on. So, when I decided to run, ang rami nagsasabi, wala na, Pink is dead, wala na, ganyan. Kasi natalo tayo. And talagang dinibdib natin yun, di ba? I keep on telling people, guys, nakalimutan nyo ba? Napuno yung buong Makati. Napuno yung Cebu, napuno yung Pangasinan, napuno yung Tarlac, napuno yung Cagayan de Oro, napuno Bohol. Everywhere we went, ang raming taong lumabas at sumuporta. Yes, hindi tayo nagwagi. Pero ano ba, ganun kabilis yung memory natin, nakalimutan natin that so many of us actually came out and supported. And maybe the victory of myself and Senator Kiko, 2-5, which is pretty good. I mean, that's really, really
Very
good.
good.
That should remind people na hindi tayo konti. Marami tayo. Marami tayo. No? At dadami pa tayo. At mas dadami pa tayo. So, the secret superpower of all of these corrupt and authoritarian governments, their secret power is to make you think that you're powerless. Yun yung kanilang power. That was what we felt in the last administration, na napaka-powerless natin. Tinatanggalan ka ng pangil, tinatanggalan ka ng lakas, di ba? And kayo, people who are on media and leaders, it's up to us to remind people of our true power. And paminsan-minsan, makikita natin yan with our eyes, pag napuno ang Emerald Avenue sa Pasig Laban. Or sometimes makikita mo yan sa boto. Almost 21 million votes. You know, the vote for me is not just a vote for Bam Aquino. It's a vote for better governance. I mean, I'd like to think, kami ni Kiko weren't just sarili namin eh. It was like when young people voted for us, I don't think they were just voting for me and Kiko as two individuals, but they were voting because they wanted something better, di ba?
Yes.
So kung susumahin mo yung mga botong yan, mas maraming Pilipino want something better. Di ba? And maybe yung better mo at yung better ko magkaiba. Maybe. But we can all agree na we can do better than this. Di ba?
Yes, absolutely.
At marami tayo at hindi tayo kukonti at makapangyarihan tayo. And I think that's what we need to keep on reminding ourselves. We're strong, marami tayo, and if we keep on working together, not fighting over things na hindi naman siguro kailangan paglabanan na, keep our eye on the ball, and be responsive to our countrymen, we can even grow, even bigger pa. Di ba? Kaya natin yan, no?
Yeah. Aw, thank you for that. That's a very good reminder.
So you heard it here first. Senator Bam is running for president,
No, I'm not.
and I am running for Senate.
Oh my God.
Na-inspire ako eh.
Let's go, Jim!
Diba?
Senator Jim!
Babatukan ko ulit?
Wala pang Senator Jim, no? Wala pang Senator Jim sa
Sen
kasaysayan
Jim.
natin. Sen Jim.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh!
Let's do it!
Yes.
I'm having
Let's do
flashbacks
it!
of my dad joking and teasing ko, stop.
May 35 ka na ba? Meron ka 35 ka na ba? Bear na? Oh, pwede
Oh my
na.
God.
Yes, oh my
Pwede na.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm serious. I'm so inspired.
He's
Dude,
so
alam mo,
not
pangarap ko yan.
prepared for
Okay,
this.
ito. Pangarap. Sorry, alam ko, tapos na. Pangarap ko yan. To have a Senate composed of, I'm not gonna say young kasi ageist siya, but more progressive ideas. People who have a plan, have an agenda, meron talang gustong gawin sa labor, sa youth, sa health.
Yes.
Really have a vibrant Senate, di ba? Malay mo, pare.
Yung ano niya, yung plataforma
Malay mo.
niya is cold plunge in
Kung
every school.
kung yung 24 to 32 nga, nanalo eh, di ba? But why not? Di ba? Why not?
Stop it.
Stop
Okay,
it.
Anyway, thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
All right.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.